Welcome, everybody. I wanted to take a look at something that got me pretty excited when I saw it yesterday for the first time. If you are familiar at all with my historical interests, or if you follow me at all on vlogging through history, you know that I have a deep love and a growing desire to learn more and more about World War I, the Great War. And, we don't have a lot of fantastic gaming content out there about the Great War. I think that's about to change. I saw this video yesterday, and I'm subscribed to their channel now because I'm really excited about this. And so I thought I would watch along with you and just kind of offer my observations and my excitement about this upcoming game. It's called The Great War Western Front, and this is their extended gameplay first look trailer. So super excited about this. Join me as we check it out.
1914. The world is pulled into a war like none ever seen, and Europe is divided. From the Belgium coast to the borders of Switzerland, two distinct alliances emerge. Now, experience the Great War like never before. Lead the Allied nations to victory or command the Central Powers and relive or redefine the course of history. Acting as field and theater commander, lead your forces with both a tactical and strategic mindset.
So, just right off the bat, you can see there's two different levels to this, right? I mean, there's the tactical and the strategic, as they mentioned. And so right here, we're getting a look at the tactical. We're looking at some German pillboxes on either side right there. We can see the multiple layers of trenches, which was exactly how that was. You had like a frontline trench, then you had support trenches, then you had what you call communications trenches, which went between the different layers of trenches. And you can get a little bit of a sense of how this is going to go. You can see kind of the overview map here. Really cool stuff. Just giving you a little bit of the scale of all
To
of
commander,
this.
lead your forces with both a tactical
Tanks.
and strategic mindset.
So now we're seeing more of the strategic map, and it looks like we're kind of more on the southern end of the Western Front. Here's Verdun right here, and then you're kind of getting over into Chateau Thierry, which is in the area closer to like Belleau Wood, things like that. And I don't know exactly what the stars mean, but obviously you're able to move between the different areas.
Turn representative of a month. Troops can be sent across the continent to build forces ready to strike. But whilst making one territory stronger, doing so may leave another vulnerable to...
And this was a decision that the theater commanders had to constantly make, right? Is where do we focus our efforts? And how can we build up strength in one area without the enemy noticing that we've weakened another area so we can build up to try and get an attack? And it was hard to do that because you had aerial reconnaissance by this time. And so sometimes you could very easily see that the enemy was building up. And, World War I, especially on the Western Front, you take away the first couple of months and the last couple of months of the war, that 3.5 years in the middle was basically a war of attrition. It was about small movements. It was losing 500,000 men to move the front line 5 miles. That's kind of what it was. And so it looks like that's kind of how this is going to be, is about national will and very slowly grinding down the enemy. So it's very realistic.
attack. Manage your gold reserves efficiently, balancing the expansion of units against bolstering your supplies for battle. Meet objectives, make tough decisions, and face historic events to...
So I want to take a look at this real quick because I want to see what these missions are.
objectives.
So, information bulletin. May 1916, men will drink regardless of regulations or propriety. Controlled too little, and the men will make mistakes while drunk and die. Controlled too harshly, and men will eventually crack under the stress. We need to find a way to manage this. Research controlled sobriety. So there is research involved in this. Build a canteen level 2. So, man, there's a lot of depth to this. It doesn't seem like it's just kind of a... kind of an arcadey type of thing. Like, there's a lot of depth, there's research, there's kind of balancing things. I like it.
Make tough decisions and face historic...
After the horrific use of poison gas on the battlefield, the cries for protection. So research filter technology. So when one side gets gas and starts using poison gas, you've got to research the defense against that. That'll help with national will.
Events to lead your faction along the right path.
New tanks. Research mechanic team 1, build a mechanic garage. Wow.
Choices between inspiring.
The British government has found that well-placed images and stories can have a large effect on civilian attitudes. So spend the necessary resources to study these effects or use resources elsewhere. So lots of choices that are going to affect
your
the
nation
outcome.
Or building your resources will define you and the war. With 6 different branches to research, you choose how this war is fought.
So you can invest in intelligence, infantry, flight, trench, engineering, logistics. You know, the war in 1918 looked so different than 1914. Both sides, you know, the Western Allies on the Western Front, you know, the British, the French, the Americans, the Belgians, they focus heavily on tanks, for example, whereas the Germans, they focus heavily on like infiltration tactics, stormtroopers, trying to, you know, invent new ways for their infantry to gain the front lines.
To advanced engineering, improved trench warfare, and even flight. Total victory at the tactical level brings your faction one step closer to pushing back the Western Front. But in a war of inches, the victory falls in the margins. Even minor success in battle holds great merit in the grand strategy.
So let me back up, because it looks like there we had the end of a
Even minor
battle.
success in battle holds.
So here's a particular battle. It shows how long the actual fighting took place in game time, 20 minutes. Was it a great victory or a great loss or somewhere in between? You see how many enemies were defeated. You get all these medals. Man, there's so much here to dive into and digest that we don't have a lot of details about yet.
Great merit in the grand strategy, dampening your opponent's national will and tipping the scales of war. Reach success by chipping away at their will to fight or attempt what history could not. Seize the German headquarters. Infiltrate the French capital. When entering any battle,
So, core supply, max supply draw, total available supply. Supply is a huge part of World War I. Getting those supplies to the front successfully. You can auto-resolve or actually fight the battles.
The outcome be determined by statistics or lead the fight as field commander.
Now this is cool because it looks like at the very beginning you get a certain number of points that you can spend on your different layers of trenches, your communication trenches, your defensive positions, things like that.
Success on the battlefield relies on an effective network of trenches, comms, firing, command, and blockhouse to provide cover for soldiers from the deadly rain of artillery.
Yeah, artillery caused the majority of casualties in the Great War. Artillery and disease really were the two main killers in the Great War. So interesting to see how you have to protect against that and see how effectively that'll be a part of things. And you can see the strong houses. You can see kind of the blockhouses, the different areas that are stronger than others. Cool stuff.
Ready your defenses, prioritizing supplies to machine gun emplacements and installing barbed wire to slow the enemy. Or focus your energy towards the attack, positioning artillery to provide vital cover and companies of tanks to rally your men as they advance over the top. Step into the shoes of a commander. Face one of the most significant wars of our time and choose to relive history or redefine it.
So you can wish list it now on Steam. It just says coming in 2023. We don't get a lot of details beyond that. So I am super excited about this one, but we need to see a lot more. We don't know all the details yet, but I'll put a link in the description to their page on Steam if you want to check it out. If you want to watch the video for yourself, I'll put that link in the description as well. You can subscribe to their channel. They've just got 2 videos up so far, and as of yesterday anyway, just a few hundred subscribers. But I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts. And is there another game that you really like that's based on World War I that you've enjoyed that you might recommend to other people? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.